All right, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. It's a nice, beautiful day here in Rio de Janeiro, and today I'm going to share how me and Dave, the Market Messiah marketing team, is using AI to speed up client delivery, improve the quality of our product to clients, and get more/better leads faster. So AI, Claude specifically, is the language model that we're using, has been helping us a ton, just completely just making things faster and better and everything that we do for ourselves and for our clients. So I want to share with you how we've improved our client delivery as far as the product, how we've sped up the process, and then also what I've been doing with lead generation to be more personalized with my outreaches and get us just better clients that as soon as we, as we're talking to them, they're the exact kind of clients that we want that are going to work with us long term. So it's been going really well. I want to share that stuff. First off, I want to give a shout out to women because I'm still sick here. It's been 3 days. Sleeping has been horrible these past few nights. But I met a couple of girls on a hike a couple of weeks ago when we've been, chatting and hanging out together a little bit. And in telling, both of them that, hey, I've been, just that I've been sick, haven't been feeling that good. Both of them have said, like, hey, oh, do you need anything? Or one said, oh, I don't know how to cook very well, but I can bring you some soup or something. Let me know if you need something. And I just think that's an amazing thing. I had a girlfriend about a year ago, and she, remember she did the same thing. Like I was sick, and you'd think like, oh, just, stay away from me. You don't need anything. But she was like, no, I'll come over and help you out and do something. So anyway, I think that's an amazing quality of women that they like to, that they are nurturing and like to take care of others. And so, yeah, wanted to give that shout out. Okay. Now, speaking of marketing here, so, okay, let me share. So I'm going to share how we used to do our initial messaging intensive and what that looked like, the bare bones of it, and how basic it was compared to how we're doing it now and how much more robust we're able to do it and how well we're able to deliver using AI. So just this will give you an idea of how you could figure out, ways to use AI in your own client delivery and just serve your clients better, give them more information, more detailed stuff. I think don't be afraid. I think there's a lot of kind of fear and skepticism around, well, what if someone knows that AI helped me use this, or I'm not supposed to be using anything with AI because it's like cheating or it's faking it. And the thing is, it's all about quality. It's about quality of result. That's how I see everything. If we're giving a higher oh man. All right, if we're giving a higher quality of result to the client, and then that is all that matters. That is the attitude these days. That's how it's always been. It's always about quality. But not everyone uses quality, but I'll show you how. Okay. So here's how we used to do it. How our intensive used to look. Whoops. So we have a messaging intensive, and we gave three main elements, four main elements in the messaging. We would give your problem angles. These are the angles or the hooks that we use to get somebody who's seeing your content or seeing an ad to reach out to you. And then we have our big idea, unique mechanism, and unique positioning, and your scale plan. So if you're just listening to this, just know that really what it is right now, the big idea, it's basically two lines, two phrases, the big idea. The root cause, this example is the counterfeit character condition, and the big idea is the Elton John effect. You don't have to know what these mean. Or the context to this. I just want to just show you really the depth here. Okay, now we've got a scale plan here, because that's what we also do in the intensive. We give you your messaging and we give you a scale plan that we then can implement. We use the messaging to implement into the scale plan. Now the scale plan is about 1 page long. Okay, so to sum it up, in our intensive, we have the core ideas, 3 ideas, and on the deliverable, it's just like 3 lines and then 1 page of a of a game plan. And what we would do is we would go through each of these ideas and we would speak it. So basically, me and Dave, we talk to a client. We spend 3-4 hours together on our own thinking about what the big ideas are, literally just coming up with everything, what the argument is, and then I'd practice it, the kind of pitch for the ideas, so that we could record this and they could have the pitch for their big ideas and their messaging. And that's how we would do it. And it's a really valuable kind of thing. So now this is what we do. Now we create an entire messaging Bible for our clients. When I say messaging Bible, I mean we create a document that's about nearly 50 pages with their messaging. Okay, so that's what I'm showing right now, a document of about 50 pages with each of those messaging elements: root cause, big idea, unique mechanism, all expanded out and typed out. And then because of that, and we're able to do this because we have all of this context into all of these clients that we've served in the past. All of those transcripts, all of the copy that we've written, all of the ads that we've written and sales pages that we've written, all of these things and all of this messaging, we have all of this context that since we have that, now so for this intensive, we have a 2-hour conversation with the client, and in combination with everything our client is saying, and in combination with all of the copy and content and knowledge that we have about marketing and messaging, now Claude is helping us create these messaging Bibles that are extremely robust with all of the arguments that we need to give to our clients. So now, instead of having just this single document where it's useful, but it's not nearly as useful as looking through this. So sorry if I didn't think this through very much, if you're just listening to this, but I mean, we've got everything fleshed out. We've got diagrams that Claude is making for us. We're prompting Claude to create actual diagrams here. We're listing out all of the symptoms, all of the patterns that we can use for content. We have the entire arguments for the root cause, big idea, all fleshed out, psychological drivers behind it. So this is my personal messaging Bible. So what we're doing here for our clients, we use for ourselves. Okay, the framework, being able to describe how your methodology works, just completely fleshed out and mapped out. So I'm not going to get all into this. This is definitely a shameless self-promotion as well into what we provide for clients, but it's just amazing what we've been able to do. And when you look at this is this is better quality than you'll get with anyone else. We've had other copywriters, 8-9-figure copywriters that made millions and millions and millions of dollars in sales, along with Dave. He's made over 35 million in sales for clients writing copy. We have other friends that are copywriters in the same league and higher, and they're like, guys, this is insane. We're not seeing anybody else do this. So this is just the level that we've been able to use with Claude. And what we're doing, again, we're just taking the conversation that we have and we're saying, hey, this is what their content pillars should be all about. Like, this is the structure I want for the content pillars. This is how we use them. Now take what our client has said about them and create the content pillars. And then we go through and clean it up and all of that too. So that's one way. So just think about that. Think about how you can speak with your clients, get a ton of data. That's the key. You want to get data and information from your clients. Ask them all the questions that you need. Ask them, get all the information that you need, and then you can put that transcript into Claude and you can create deliverables based on that. Okay. Now let's show you for lead generation what I've been doing. So this is how I used to book calls, and it was very simple and it worked very well. There's more than a few weeks where I was booking. I booked like 10 calls in a week using this really simple method that we call the cheetah method. So let's share. And I'm sharing this. I did this whole presentation, teaching this method a while ago. I don't use this anymore because it doesn't work. Because times have changed. DMs, people, lots of noise in the inbox, and it just has not, it just doesn't work anymore. You have to be more personalized, and that's what I'll show you how we've actually changed, how we've been doing lead gen much better and more personalized way that is now working for us. Again, using Claude and AI. So the point here, again, not saying that you guys probably aren't going to be doing this kind of stuff. Oh, excuse me. When we create stuff for clients, they're usually, they don't want to go out and be doing direct outreach. They want us to create a funnel for them that is just going to more or less work without them having to do any marketing. But the point is, I just want to show you how personalized that we can get with our marketing using Claude. So here, this is the outreach that I used to have. I'd basically say, hey, love the work you're doing. And then how I would get to the call, I'd say, have you ever tried making story seller posts before? Basically, it's a way to create a personal connection and intrigue with your posts, get your audience inspired to reach out with you, etc. So the mechanism was essentially curiosity and offering value. Like, say, have you tried a story seller post? That sounds really interesting. What do you mean, story and sales? It's a way to create personal connection and get someone to work with you. And then the prospect would say, tell me more. And then I'd expand a little bit on it, just expand a bit. And I'd say, does that make sense? And they'd say, yeah. And then I'd ask to get on a call. Hey, well, if you're open to a call, let's do it. Just want to see where I can help. And then they'd say, sure, give me your calendar. So this worked worked hundreds of times, booked hundreds of calls using that simple method. That doesn't work anymore. So what I'm doing now is much more robust. So let's look at what I'm doing now, which is this. Essentially, now what we're doing is we're looking at clients that have intent, which means that I'm looking for prospects that are actively spending money on advertising. So I'll go to the Facebook ad library and I'll see who is spending money. And then I'll know that they're going to be a good prospect because they're actively trying to make their marketing better. So that's a tip for you. Who out there, the prospects that you're going after, the types of people, what are those indicators that you can look for that are going to be, hey, this person is looking for help? What are some of those indicators? Is it, did they just transition into getting a new job? Something like that. For me, it's people that I know are spending money on marketing. So anyway, what I'm doing now is going onto their page, creating a Loom video and giving a critique of their sales page. And then what I'm doing is just what I want to show you here is that now I'm using Claude to take the transcript of what I said and then create these bullet points that go along with the outreach. So, this is something that would take forever to type. It'd basically be impossible. I would never take the time to do this. I would never, Claude's even putting things in here that I'm not even saying that are really amazing. So the point here, do things in voice and then have Claude create assets from that. I got too far into the lead gen strategy. That doesn't even matter. What matters here is that use Claude for voice, answer questions, ask clients questions, ask questions yourself, or have Claude ask you questions, and then take all that data, all that information, and then sculpt it however you want into outreaches, client assets, web pages, whatever. That's how you can get the best use of Claude. It's not just to have AI create you something from scratch. You have to give it a base. You have to give AI a base. Give it human base, and then you can create great assets. That is the whole point of this whole thing, this whole video here. Any newsletters that you see from me, that's what I do. I pick a topic. I say, all right, Claude, ask me 3-4 questions about this so that I can answer them in voice and then create me the newsletter. That's how you get a great newsletter. Not just say, hey, create me this newsletter based on this. You got to get some human input, and that's going to make it really good. All right, could have just cut that whole video and just did the very end there, but hey, that's what practice is for, right? So, okay, that's it. Happy weekend.